there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this quick live today. And it's all about giving yourself permission. It is a new year. And I know that you've had so many dreams that you've been writing about. They're on your vision board. You've been talking to friends about these pent up ambitions, starting your own business, launching your coaching practice, writing your first book. And it's 10 days into the new year, and it's time to look at how you give yourself permission to move forward. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I got started in my company over 20 years ago, and I got started simply by giving myself permission. And that's how we all get started. And it's made all the difference in my life, in my world. And I'm so grateful that I had the courage to do it. I want to talk a little bit about that today because literally, in order for you to be in a different place this time next year, it is going to be the direct result of you making that decision to give yourself permission. I remember, 20 plus years ago, I knew that I wanted to be on an entrepreneurial path, but I didn't exactly know what that path would be. I didn't know if that path was going to be as a coach or as a consultant or as a trainer. I wasn't really sure. But one thing I knew I had to do was start. And the same is true for you. Like it's so important to understand that starting is where everything changes. But the reason that many of us do not start is because simply we just don't give ourselves permission to start. And so what does that look like? Like why does that happen and how it might be showing up for you right now? I want you to think about what you've done maybe leading up to this time, the last 30 days. And you've been writing down what it is that you've wanted to accomplish. Or maybe this has been a goal, something, a desire you've had, something you've been talking about to your friends, to your family, to your spouse, and you've been thinking like, I got to do this, right? I was put here for more, and you were meant for more. That's true, but you still haven't moved. You haven't made the move. You made steps, but they're small steps. They're not significant ones. And why is that? I will tell you that most often what I've seen over the years is fear and doubt. And the fear and the doubt is not in terms of your talent currently. The fear and doubt is you translating that talent and the skill you have to doing something for yourself. If you're already successful at what you do, you don't really deal with the risk of failing because you have success in your workplace. People love what you do and what you bring to the table. So it's really low risk. When you're talking about running a business or starting a company or launching your book and sharing pieces of yourself with the world, it's a very vulnerable space, let's face it. And you have to make that decision that you're going to be willing to give yourself permission to feel vulnerable, right? To feel scared, to understand you there is going to be doubt because you don't have the evidence that what you want to do will work. These are all the things that we are dealing with in our mind. Like if you already have a significant reputation for being great at what you do, then sometimes the biggest pull that you feel when you're thinking about launching that new business, that new consulting or coaching or becoming this author or just going for your dream is the fact that what if I fail? How it might impact your reputation or you know um or the way other people see you, right? And which is really not even significant. I'll tell you this, for me, I always said that every significant thing that's ever happened in my life has happened on the other side of fear. It's been me addressing the fact that, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that if I don't do this thing, if I don't follow the calling of my life to help women live bigger lives, right, and take the risks that they need to, right, that they're fully capable of, if I don't take that risk, then what? Right? Then I get to live a life of quiet desperation. And the same is true for you. And it's the reason why you're talking about this thing over and over again, but you haven't launched. And you know inside of your heart and your life that you're not fully expressed. So let me explain what I mean when I say fully expressed. I mean that there's this thing that you have, that you want, this calling, this thing that nags at you all the time, and you know you're meant to do it. And then you start listening to that chatter each and every day. How much will it cost? Or you think about what you don't know, or you start thinking or looking at other people that are executing it. And you might even tell yourself things like, The market is already saturated. There's not room for you. You might even have these beliefs that because you're starting a new business, even though you are significant in your career, that you're new, you're brand new in this business. The truth of the matter, it isn't. What you get to do because of your talents, because of your skills, you get to bring all of you along in this journey. Understand that you're not new. You might be new in this business that you're thinking of, but you're not new in terms of your expertise and your skills and your talents. And when you put all of those things together, your clients are actually really, they benefit from the sum of all that you bring to the table. I see this all the time with women who are incredible and they don't launch because they are afraid of being new or starting again or starting from the beginning. And truthfully, it's just a mindset that they're having that is not even actually the correct way to look at starting something new. It takes courage, it takes bravery, and they are not the same. Courage means I'm going to do it, right? Courage means that, all right, this is my time. I'm going to launch my business. It doesn't take a whole lot to just kind of have the courage to say, I'm going to do it. Bravery is having the habits of mind to support the action, to support the decision making. Does it make sense? Like if I say I'm going to do something, the bravery is me backing it up with the investments, with the habits, right? The consistency, the persistency. Bravery is me telling the world and then showing up with this product that I've just built. That takes bravery. It doesn't take much to just say, hey, I'm going to do something. But the ability to back up the courage, right, to say it with the actions, which is the bravery, the consistency and the persistency, which is bravery, is what really matters in changing your life. I want you to give yourself permission to be courageous, to be brave, to play on the skinny branch, which means sometimes you're going to be afraid, right? Like if you think about a skinny branch, it's thin, you don't know if it can support you, but it's probably a lot of fun, right? When you get to play outside of the lines of where you're playing right now. And I can tell you that playing where you are right now, inside of the box, and not being fully expressed or never really trying to do the thing that you were meant to do and not reaching bigger than that, you know what? It's the reason why you've got your paper and pad out each and every year talking about what you want to do, knowing that there is more for you, but not having, you know what I mean, the courage to reach bigger. And I hope that there's something that I'm saying that's shaking your shoulders because if it's you and I'm talking directly to you, you can write me and you're talking to me, or if it's you and you know that like there's something that I'm saying, you're sitting at work right now and maybe you're doing something right now and you're like, that's me, that is so me. I know that there is more for me, and I keep blowing it off, but it doesn't go away because you were meant for more. You were meant to take your talents and your skills and your ability and to create impact in the world. And I can tell you that there's nothing like it. My entire life changed when I stopped thinking only about myself. My life changed when my purpose became bigger, and your life will change equally when your purpose is not just about you and it's not just about your family. Trust me. It's about the impact, the gifts that you've been given, all of this fine tuning that you had in your life over the years. It was never for you. It was so that you could use it for a bigger platform to make a difference in the world. And you know it. And that's why you create that it creates that nagging nudge each and every morning or every week when you see someone doing that thing that you haven't yet had the bravery and the courage to pursue. I hope that there's something that I say that makes you tomorrow or tonight, right now, make a difference. Pick up that phone and decide, look, I'm gonna make that call wherever in that direction of the thing that scares you to make your next move, and that you'll continue to add. You only need to do, I always tell my clients this, three things each and every day in the direction of where you want to be, and you'll change your life. And let me explain. If you simply, you guys can pull out your calculators for this. If you simply do three things every day in the direction of where you want to be, and they can be small things. Just think that's like over 1,000 acts in the direction of where you want to be. So you're going to be closer to there. The reason that most people don't hit their goals is because they're in and they're out people, right? They're people who are they're in and they are gun ho, and it's like the folks that are at the gym right now and they're working out every day and they're working out for hours, but the issue isn't the fact that they've gone or that they're working out for hours. It's the consistency and persistency is what wins over time. It's those of us who are, we do the small things. We make the discipline of showing up for the thing that we love the most. We do it all the time. We are the people who see the results. We're the people who are in business for decades because we're not the kind of folks that are in and we're out. And I promise you that accountability can really help you be more consistent for yourself. Accountability can allow you to show up in ways for yourself. Today, I'm talking about, for those of you who've just joined me, I'm Mia Redrick. I'm business and life coach. And I got started my company over 2 decades ago. I've coached thousands of women, and I've helped women show up bigger for themselves, to stand in their value, to package their intellect in many significant ways, and to change their lives. And sometimes changing their life meant changing the way that they worked, right? Like maybe they were a therapist and they wanted to become a coach and they wanted to change their models, and I've helped them to do that. Other times I've had clients who maybe they were a medical doctor and they decided that they wanted to now work in a different country and live that way and transition their life as a coach, and they wanted to work one to many. And that's pretty big. Have clients that have done that. Or maybe it's that they've been trading time for dollars, just earning, 150 or 250 an hour, and they wanted to build a model where they had a better model that gave them greater time freedom, more flexibility, and there wasn't a cap on their income. These are big things, right? Giving themselves permission to be vulnerable. See, the thing is, in order for us to change our life, sometimes you got to understand, you got to change the way you've been thinking up until now. Up until now, maybe you've been playing it safe, right? Because it's been comfortable for you. Up until now, you've been following the models that you know. But there's sometimes there's another way of doing things that's easier, that's more direct, and it requires you to kind of think outside of the box. Give yourself permission to think outside of the box. Give yourself the permission to see things differently. Give yourself the permission to understand that, like, sometimes what got you there isn't the thing that will take you where you want to go. I see this a lot because I work with very, very smart women. They're sharp. They've created significant careers for themselves, and they're used to trusting their skills and their talents. And self trust is super important. But sometimes what I see also is that they're in a lane trying to coach themselves around doing like building a funnel or creating a market, marketing to their clients, and they don't know anything about that part of the business. And so they become really frustrated with, launching something that they could do that's easy because they're trying to take the thing that they know how to do and they forget about the thing they don't know how to do, and they rather spend time staying up all night, I'm talking to you, working on a landing page, or building out a funnel, or trying to figure out how to market when they don't know anything about any of those things. Give yourself permission to get the help you need. Give yourself permission to get the coaching that you need. Give yourself permission to invest in yourself at the highest level. And I'll say this, and this is the last thing I'll say about giving yourself permission, because for me it changed my life. I didn't know anything about building a coaching practice. I learned how to build a coaching practice from investing in tons of coaches over the years who showed me how to build models that are time free, freedom models. I've worked from my home for the last 26 years, which I'm so proud of. My kids have never seen me ever work a job in a typical sense. I've always worked from the comfort of my home or anywhere around the world that I chose to. And I say that to you because it's possible. But I didn't learn that from my coworkers, from when I was working. I learned that from in making investments, significant investments with people who were already free. My motto was, if you're not free, you can't teach me. And I decided that I would hang out and give myself permission to change my circle, to elevate what I was learning. I understood that if I could hang around people who lived differently, thought differently, if I learned 30% of what they were doing that was different, my life would change. Give yourself permission for that. Sometimes, we're so accustomed to doing things the way that we've done them that we don't realize that those ways are broken. Those models don't work. The more that I've built my business over the years based on leverage, I realize the less I do, the more I earn. And that's kind of crazy because I learned something completely different from my family, conventionally in school. I always thought work harder, hustle more, make more. But it doesn't quite work that way. When you understand how to build a business based on leverage, it's completely different. And I'll tell you, the two groups who primarily don't know anything about it, women and women of color. Like literally, we know very little about it because for the most part in our lifetime, in our lives, everything for everyone. You know, I'm telling you the truth, right? So I hope that there's something that I've said to you today that has shaken your shoulders a little bit, gets you to think a little bit differently about, who you are, who you be in this world, what's possible for you. And I want you to have what I have. And I know that, one of the things that I have enjoyed tremendously is once I got myself free, staying free. This has not been about like just coming home and working from home because my employer has allowed me to be home for a period of time or work from home. You've got a taste of that. And if you liked it, why don't you create and design that for yourself? Give yourself permission to do that. Understand that that's not just a pipe dream, and that's not just something that someone else can create for you. You can create a transition plan for yourself and live your life in a bigger way. I hope that there's something that I've said that's made you think a little bit differently, like the sun is coming out, right? You see the sun, it's a little bit brighter, and I'm see if I can adjust it a little bit. But just choose differently. It's a beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day. I always say, you guys can see. It's a gorgeous day outside. I think that's the sun is coming out. I'm at my home office and my office downtown, and just sharing the peak with you, right? But I hope that there's something I said. If I can support you in some way, go to miaredrick.com and somebody can type it here. My name, miaredrick.com. Sign up for a breakthrough session, book a call with us. We'd love to support you and understanding how you can get started, figuring out what your way forward to package who you are, right? To launch your business, to build the brand of you is possible. And when I got started years ago, I didn't have a idea of what I was going to do, but I knew that I was meant to create impact. And it what I do in my work means so much more to me than anything I ever did for anyone else. When I see how the women I've worked with, how their lives have really changed, and as a result, the echo of how they've changed their lives for their kids, or whether they're paying tuition at the highest level for their kids, or whether they're taking amazing vacations, or whether they have created a transition plan, or been able to stand in the gap for their family. To me, that's impact. And there's nothing like it. And I hope that there's something I've said that's really supported you and made you think a little bit differently about your life and, what's possible. I love you. Have a great and amazing day. Bye.